Welcome to Great Moments in GamePro, the show where we chronicle the silliest, craziest, punniest, and most baffling GamePro quotes of all time. In this episode, we're going to finish out 1990 and move on to the January, February, and March issues from 1991, featuring genuine classics like Strider, Thunder Force 3, Eastbook 1 and 2, DJ Boy, Kabuki Quantum Fighter, and Michael Jackson's Moonwalker. It's time to get all dolled up because we're about to induct a few of the great moments in GamePro.
They say it's a woman's prerogative to change her mind. I disagree. It's her duty.
On the left, a steak wrapped in saran wrap. On the right, both Reynolds and Glad wraps.
It may be the last oasis of true excellence in an otherwise vast desert of compromise. Cheers.
The princess tried to kiss me for saving her dad, apparently he was a king too, but I told her no thanks. Girls, blah! Her land was incredibly beautiful, so I agreed to visit her again. I'm a sucker for colorful places, but I made her promise no kissy stuff. The Immortal is a real standout, definitely worth the price of admission. It isn't totally roleplay and isn't totally action-adventure, but it waves together entertaining elements from both genres. Dive into the Immortal, unless you're afraid of the dark. Strider is hot from the arcades and features gorgeous graphics, non-stop arcade-style action, and an especially captivating and unusual soundtrack. At last, an arcade translation that is as hot as the original coin-op. What more is there to say? You'll take this one in stride. This one's definitely recommended for serious Genesis combat pilots itching to carve another notch into their controllers. If you shoot 'em up, steal Thunder Force 3's Thunder. Hellfire's basic features don't soar above other space shooters. However, we'll still send out a scramble to Genesis Space Aces. Beat this cart to really earn your wings. If you're looking for a pure outer space shooter that you're gonna love to hate, go to Hellfire. If you're a role-play adventurer who's been waiting for a reason to invest in the TurboGrafx 16 CD-ROM unit, Eastbook 1 and 2 has got it all. Great graphics, engaging RPG gameplay, and a brain-draining quest. On top of that, the music in the game is definitely high budget. 43 stunning tracks. Want to make the jump to an entirely new role-play world? It's East-E. Bubble Ghost is a fun variation on the traditional Game Boy puzzle fare. Although a high frustration factor, those darn bubbles are so fragile, does lead to the temptation to blow the game off, as it were. Average graphics and sound make this a fair adaptation of the original title. Who says you can't teach an old spirit new tricks? And now for the freezing question. Is all the fun of the Winter Wonderland worth the price of admission? If you've already played Skate or Die, then the answer is probably no. But if you want a fairly fun group game, then the answer is yes. I came, I saw, I skied, I lived. Sort of. WWF Wrestlemania Challenge wins the bout, but not the title. As they say, you can't take the belt on a disqualification. This is a great party game. It's easy to learn, and like real-life professional wrestling, it doesn't take much brain power to get into. If you've got a severe case of Wrestlemania, you might like this cart. James Buster Douglas Knockout Boxing may not be the strongest contender to ever climb into the Genesis ring, but the arcade-style action packs it with enough punch to satisfy Genesis fans looking for some sparring. And hey, they just called it Knockout Boxing. They didn't say who was gonna get knocked out. Conquest of the Crystal Palace is a hip-happening cart. Farron and Zap aren't the heftiest sprites, but the small details, such as Farron's blinking eyes, make up for it. The duo may be small in size, but they're giants when it comes to action. With the thinking and the action this cart requires, it's crystal clear why you won't get bored with this one. Final Zone 1 apparently never made it across the Pacific, but Final Zone 2's landed with a vengeance. If you dig action-packed, land-based shoot-em-ups versus overwhelming odds, go get zoned out. Come on, you knew G.I. Joe, an American original, was bound to hit a video screen near you sooner or later. Just an average video challenge for an average Joe. DJ Boy is Kaneko's first title on the Genesis, and it's a winner. The arcade-style action and amusing graphics made for an entertaining time. If you're looking for arcade-style thrills and chills, DJ Boy keeps you rolling along. The action in Kabuki Quantum Fighter is consistently hot, with frantic, invigorating music to match. The hair weapon feature is not only imaginative, it's much more fun to use than an ordinary gun. The only thing that drags this adventure down is the painfully long and slowly scrolling storyline. Other than that, Kabuki Quantum Fighter will wig you out. If you're looking for a real brain buster, find another cart. But if it's blood and guts you want, Sword of Sodan could be your cup of plasma. PGA Tour Golf has everything except for that little motor cart to drive around the course. Oh yes, no mosquitoes either. Unfortunately, Michael's magic, the gorgeous graphics, and the nifty tunes just don't make up for the baddest part of this game. But hey, if you want to be starting something with Michael, you may find the game's a thriller anyway. Hey, thanks for watching this episode of Great Moments in GamePro. If you liked what you saw here, then you should know that we post new reviews and features almost every day. Now here's the question I have for you. What's your favorite game featured in this episode? It's Skate or Die, isn't it? Don't lie. Let me see your picks in the comments below. In other news, I'm currently hard at work on a bunch of reviews, including a new episode of the Shoot 'em Up Show. I also have something special lined up for April Fool's Day. In the meantime, I strongly recommend you click that subscribe button and support what we're doing here. Until then.